Saturday, 15 June 2024 at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, Las Vegas. David Benavidez will step in the ring with Oleksandr Gvozdyk in what will be David's biggest test to date in his career. Although David Benavidez has fought above super middleweight previously, this bout will mark the official commencement of his campaign at light heavyweight, and his days at 168 could be over. His opponent, Gvozdyk, is a former Olympic medalist and part of what's been referred to as the golden generation of Ukrainian fighters. A list of fighters that includes former Olympic teammates Oleksandr Usyk, Vasily Lomachenko, and Denis Berenchik. Former WBC and Lineal light heavyweight champion Gvozdyk has only ever lost once. That was in 2019 to Artur Beterbiev, and after a long hiatus from the sport, Gvozdyk has been on a tear, fighting and winning 3 times in 2023. So as you can see, Benavidez could be in for a long night. Let's get into it! David the Mexican Monster Benavidez has officially left the super middleweight division after spending close to a decade there, more or less. Like I said, he has fought above the 168-pound limit previously and actually toggled between super middleweight and light heavyweight early on in his pro career. With the Canelo fight at super middleweight in doubt, especially now that the IBF have ordered Canelo to face IBF mandatory challenger, Cuban by way of Germany's William Skull, who has been patiently waiting in line for a title shot since defeating Yevgeny Shevchenko back in 2022. And with a lack of opponents at super middleweight that could deliver the same lucrative payday as a Canelo fight, the move up to 175 seemed the next logical step, particularly for a fighter that may have been struggling to make the super middleweight limit in his advancing years. Benavidez has set his eyes on the winner of Artur Beterbiev and Dmitry Bivol. It seems that Benavidez is casting his net far and wide and keeping all available options open. An undisputed bout against Canelo, which is not yet dead, or an undisputed bout against 175 top dogs Beterbiev or Bivol after their bout, which has been postponed for later in the year. Benavidez is forcing his way into and staying in the conversation. These potential matchups have the backing and support of Saudi Arabia and now a major player in boxing, Turki Al-Sheikh. His chicness is down for the fight, but one would think that Benavidez has to look impressive against Gvozdyk first if his chicness is to maintain a chubby for a super fight involving Benavidez. David's style of coming forward and sustaining pressure by means of both physical presence and high-volume combination punching could fall short of making a dent against the more technical and elite-level competitor, who not only is accustomed to fighting big, strong guys, but he himself is very physically imposing. Watching Benavidez and Gvozdyk standing next to and facing each other in their first press conference, one could argue that Gvozdyk is the real monster. David is a full decade younger than Oleksandr, and the fact he's not cutting weight to make 168 pounds anymore could be positive things for Benavidez, but he better not sleep on this guy. Ukrainian boxing is flying high at the moment, and Oleksandr "The Nail" Gvozdyk will be looking to continue the winner's party. At the time of uploading this, Oleksandr Usyk has just been crowned the heavyweight undisputed champion of the world after thoroughly beating and almost stopping Brit and former world champion Tyson Fury over the weekend just past. Over that same weekend, newly crowned WBO lightweight champion Denis Berenchik enjoyed a points decision win over Emmanuel Navarrete, whom fell short of becoming a 4-division champion. In my prediction of that fight, I expected Navarrete to get the nod if the bout was a close one on the cards, given it was a top-ranked show and he's a top-ranked promoted fighter. It was a surprising outcome. And finally, the weekend prior, 3-division champion Vasily Lomachenko reclaimed a major title again, this time clinching the IBF and the lesser IBO titles after stopping Aussie George Kambosos. Gvozdyk will not be vying for a full title, but he will be challenging Benavidez for the WBC light heavyweight interim title. A win would put him ahead of Benavidez as a mandatory challenger for either Dmitry Bivol or Artur Beterbiev when they eventually meet in October or December, the months earmarked for their undisputed bout to take place, provided Beterbiev is fully recovered and match fit. I know that his chicness would love to put together a bout between Benavidez and either of the current 175 champions. However, I don't see Gvozdyk stepping aside for that to happen. I imagine he'd rather reclaim his old WBC title, get revenge on the only man to beat him as a pro if Beterbiev defeats Bivol. And also, why would Gvozdyk pass up an opportunity at potentially becoming an undisputed champion? At 37 years of age, time is running out. Going into the Benavidez fight, he has the technically superior style to Benavidez and damaging power too. Straight or bent arm shots, Oleksandr has sent fighters like Adonis Stevenson to hospital with those hands. Even the most die-hard Benavidez fan must be at least a little bit worried about this guy. If I'm wrong, I'm happy to chew belly lint, but David Benavidez is in for one hell of a night. Gvozdyk can box going backwards or forwards. Even at his age, he still maintains fluid movement with the ability to effortlessly throw hard, pounding shots and short burst combinations before creating space again and resetting. He can take a shot and hits extremely hard. His last opponent came in well over the 175-pound limit and Gvozdyk took him out in 2 rounds. Since his loss to Beterbiev and an over 3-year layoff, he's growing in momentum, and each victory since that loss has been more devastating than the last. If Benavidez can pull this off, he's got to stay on Gvozdyk if he can pin him down and tire the 37-year-old out. Benavidez has also got to be able to take incoming fire in order to push Gvozdyk deep into the late rounds. With youth and a long-lasting gas tank and power, Benavidez's only hope is to tire the older man out and keep pressing and punching if he's to nick this on the scorecards, because I don't think he stops Gvozdyk. With very little confidence in my pick, I think David Benavidez manages to pull off a points victory. But I'll tell you now, it would hardly be surprising or an upset in my eyes if Gvozdyk gets his hands raised at the end of the night. Benavidez on points is my pick, ever so tentatively. Let us know in the comments below who you think wins and how. Thank you for watching P4P TV. Please remember to subscribe and hit that notification bell for future updates. See you in the next one. Check out our Patreon page to become a Patreon family member where you'll receive some cool perks. If you're looking for some new threads, we've got t-shirts, hoodies, and much, much more. So head on over to our Michael Akobi P4P TV stores. They can be found on Redbubble and Spreadshop. Join me on my travels and head on over to my other YouTube channel titled Barefoot and Free. There you can follow me as I traverse the many parts of our planet and occasionally get into a spot of bother. Nonetheless, it's always fun and entertaining. If you're struggling with some of life's obstacles and challenges, my book How to Get Out of Life Traps might just be the answer that you're looking for to help guide you through the difficult times. It's helped many get past some of their darkest moments, and it might do the same to you. You can purchase it on Amazon, where you can also find a wide range of my other works. Those works include screenplay to book adaptations, a fairly unique concept, with genres covering comedy, heist and revenge, drama, supernatural and crime, if that's more your cup of tea. You can find them by following the link provided.